Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we got another game review recap to discuss. We're discussing the games that are happening over the past couple of days. We're looking ahead to games that are going to happen over the weekend. And we're looking at a quick standings update from the past couple of days. So it's all of that coming up right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here at the Edmonton Talk Show. Now before we begin this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. Thank you for all of your support. I would never been able to do without you guys, so don't forget to continue to subscribe so we can hit 250 subscribers. Now, as usual, I'm going to start off by discussing a couple of games from over the past couple of days. We've had a really interesting last couple of days of game action. We had 13 games happen over on Thursday, 2 games happened yesterday on Friday, so look at all of those games first. So on Thursday, we had a ton of games start at 4 o'clock, 9 of them. We'll get to the first one here, which is Seattle and Washington, and in this game the Seattle Kraken were able to jump out to an early lead, and they wound up destroying the Washington Capitals 4-1. Very good win there for the Seattle Kraken, who were able to keep their winning streak and point streak going. They're up to 12-game point streak and an 8-game win streak. They're doing absolutely phenomenal, and they're keeping pace for a wildcard spot, which is absolutely fantastic. So it was a huge win there to improve themselves to 18-14-9, while the Capitals get dropped to 19-14-6. Not great stuff there. They're only 5 games above 500 and are heading into a back-to-back against New York Rangers, so that's not really good stuff there for Washington. In this game, Larson had a goal and an assist, Tanev had 2 assists, and Karche, Wenberg, and Schultz all had a goal for the Kraken in the win. Or for the Capitals, the lone goal scorer was Pacioretty in the loss. Now that's a really good story in and of itself. Pacioretty has been dealing with Achilles injury since the start of last year for the Carolina Hurricanes. He was signed a 1-year contract with the Washington Capitals this year, and he's finally scored in his, I think, second or third game back. So that's really great stuff to see that Pacioretty was able to score. But besides that storyline, Washington loses again. They've started to fall off a little bit. They're getting a little bit behind the playoff mark at this point in time, and they're going to need to start playing a little bit better and scoring some more goals if they want to get back in this thing. But this was a really good win for Seattle, who was able to keep their winning streak going. Then we saw the New York Islanders overcome a 2-goal deficit and come back from down 3-1, scoring 3 straight goals to beat the Maple Leafs 4-3. Very good winner for New York Islanders to improve to 19-12-10 and end their losing streak. Well, the Maple Leafs dropped to 21-10-8 with the loss, so not great stuff there from the Toronto Maple Leafs. For the Islanders, Barzal, who had the OT winner, had a 4-point night with a goal and 3 assists, as did Noah Dobson, who had 4 assists. And then the other 3 goal scorers were Romanov, Horvat, and Palmieri in the win. So very good stuff there for the Islanders. Well, for the Maple Leafs, Matthews scored twice, extending his lead for the Rocket Richard race, and McMahon also scored for the Leafs in the loss. So not great stuff there for the Leafs. One they probably would have wanted to have. It's another lead that they blew, but still, they've lost now back-to-back games in Long Island 4-3 in overtime. So at least they're able to get points, but the Owls seem to have their number in New York, so really interesting stuff there. Then we saw the Buffalo Sabres jump out to a 4-1 lead and held on for a 5-3 victory over the Ottawa Senators, 2 of the worst teams in the Atlantic Division right now, and neither team's played overly well, but the Sabres seem to be turning things around over as of late. They've won 3 of 4, they've won 5 of 7, I think. They're definitely doing a lot better as of late, so that's really good stuff to see for Buffalo, but Ottawa continues to fall. Sabres are up to 18-20-4, only 2 games back of 500, while the Senators have dropped now their 5th straight and are down to 14-23-0, which is really, really awful. Senators do not look like a cohesive group right now. For the Sabres, Thompson scored twice, Cousins had a goal and an assist, Dahlin had 2 assists, and Peterka and Krebs also scored for the Sabres in the win. Well, for Senators, Giroux scored twice, and Tarasenko also scored for the Senators in the loss. So it wasn't a really great game there for the Senators. Again, they lost Anton Forsberg to injury. They did not look like a really great group, and they continued to find ways to lose. Well, for the Sabres, they started to turn things around, especially since the calendar hit 2024. They're starting to play a lot better like last year. It might be too little too late for them to catch up to all those teams to make a playoff spot, but still, at least they're starting to play a little bit better, and they're getting themselves a little bit closer to a playoff spot. So that's really good stuff there for Buffalo. Then we saw the Edmonton Oilers come back. This was a really interesting scoreless game throughout the first 2 periods, but then we saw the Red Wings score, then we saw the Oilers score a couple to take the lead, then the Red Wings were able to tie it up late, and that was before the Oilers were scoring overtime, as the Oilers would extend their winning streak to 9 games and improve to 22-15-1 with a huge win. Hyman had a goal and an assist. Both Nurse, who had the O2 winner, and McDavid also scored for the Oilers in the win. Or for the Red Wings, Kopp and Mato are 2 goal scorers for the Red Wings, who dropped to 20-16-5 at the halfway point. So not great stuff there for the Red Wings. Winnable game. They had a lead in this game, so they probably wanted to hold on to it, but the Oilers were able to definitely be resilient. They definitely were able to tie up play and get points. So really good stuff there for the Red Wings, but the Oilers were able to keep their winning streak going. So really good stuff there for the Edmonton Oilers. Oilers. Then we saw the Vancouver Canucks, who have been on fire lately, get out to a 3-1 lead. The Penguins, thanks to Sidney Crosby, would roll her back, tie this game at 3-3. But then in overtime, thanks to this goal here from Elias Pettersson, and all comes credit to Sportsnet, Vancouver was able to take a 4-3 overtime victory. Very good goal there from Pettersson that was able to give the Canucks their 4th straight victory and improve their record to 28-11-3. So very good stuff there for the Vancouver Canucks, while the Penguins dropped to 20-15-5 with the loss. So not great stuff there for Pittsburgh. Pettersson had a 4-point night with the OT winner as well, so 2 goals and 2 assists. Miller had a 3-assist night. Besser scored twice. Ronick had 2 assists for the Canucks in the win. Well, Pittsburgh, Crosby scored twice, and Pettersson had a goal and an assist for the Penguins in the loss. So not a great game there from the Penguins. One they probably want to have back. They were able to come back, make this an interesting game, send it to overtime, so that's really good resiliency there from Pittsburgh. But still, it's a loss, and it's not really great news there for Pittsburgh. But the Canucks continue to find ways to win, and they're continuing to extend their lead for the Pacific Division title. Then we saw the Carolina Hurricanes play the Anaheim Ducks. Canes were able to get out to a huge lead and double up the Anaheim Ducks by the end of it, 6-3. Very good win there for the Carolina Hurricanes, who did lose their goalie in the win, so really bad stuff there for Carolina. They extend their point streak to 7 games and improve to 23-13-5 at the halfway point, while the Ducks drop to 14-26-1 at the halfway point. So not great stuff there for Anaheim, who continues to find ways to lose. Jarvis had a 3-point with a goal and 2 assists. Nosen and Marnik both had a goal and an assist. Teravainen had 2 assists, and Drury, Svechnikov, and Shea also scored for the Carolina Hurricanes in the win, while Strome, Lundestrom, and Vetrano were 3 goal scorers for the Ducks in the loss. So not great news there for Anaheim, who continue to find ways to lose, and not an overly great game here against the Carolina Hurricanes, but still really good game there for Carolina, who's continuing to find the ways to get up into this top end tier of the Metro Division right now. Then we saw the Tampa Bay Lightning play New Jersey Devils. Lightning would blow an early 3rd period lead. They would give up the game time goal in New Jersey, but they would recover and beat the Devils in overtime 4-3 thanks to a goal from Darren Radish. Really good stuff there from Tampa, who continues to win over the past couple of games and improved 21-17-5, dropping the New Jersey Devils to 21-15-3. So Devils are at least able to get a point, but still, if the Bolts will come away with the 2 points. Glendening scored twice. Kucherov and Perbix both had 2 assists, and Radish was the OT winner and point. Both also scored for the Lightning in the win. Well, for the Devils, Mercer, Bratt, and Bastian were 3 goal scorers in the loss. So not a great game there from the Devils. One they probably want to have back. This was an interesting, really close game, and one they could have easily won, but still, interesting stuff there. Then we saw the San Jose Sharks finally be able to win a game. They end their 12-game regulation losing streak by downing the Montreal Canadiens 3-2. They hit their 10th win of the season, improving to 10-29-9, dropping the Montreal Canadiens to 17-18-6. So really good stuff there for the Sharks. Okotyuk, Zetterlund, and Kunin were 3 goal scorers for the Sharks in the win, while Matheson had 2 assists, and Gallagher and Anderson were 2 goal scorers for the Canadiens in the loss. So not a great game there for the Canadiens. They kept it close all game. It was not really a blowout by any means, but still, they wind up giving up the Sharks their first win in 13 games, so it's not really great stuff there for Montreal, but still, really good win there for San Jose, who continues to finally find their 10th win. Then we saw the Florida Panthers come back multiple times from down to the LA Kings. They were down 1-0 and 2-1. Tie the game up, send it to overtime, where in overtime, this goal here, thanks to Sam Reinhart, was able to get the Florida Panthers the overtime victory. A very fantastic stuff there for the Florida Panthers. They were able to get a huge OT victory over the LA Kings, thanks to Sam Reinhart, and they extend their winning streak. Their winning streak is up to 9 games, and they're up to 27-12-2, the halfway point. Well, the Kings have lost their 7th in a row, and they drop to 20-10-8. So not great stuff there for the Kings. Reinhart had a goal, which was the OT winner, and an assist, and Bennett and Chuck also scored for the Panthers in the win. Well, for the Kings, Doughty and Moore were 2 goal scorers in the loss. So Kings continue to find ways to lose. They're not doing overly well right now. The Edmonton Oilers, who are on a heater right now, have started to work their way back up into the standings. Like we said, they're on a 9-game winning streak. They're closing in on the LA Kings for 3rd in the Pacific. This is not looking overly good for LA, and they're going to need to start winning some games soon, or they're going to find themselves out of the top 3 spot in the Pacific. But really good there for Florida, who now only finds themselves 1 point out of top spots in the Atlantic Division. So really good stuff there for Florida. Then we saw the St. Louis Blues score 4 consecutive goals. Never a really good game, beating up the New York Rangers 5-2. Rangers continue their recent slump as they dropped to 26-12-2, while the Blues were able to improve to 21-18-1. So really good stuff there for St. Louis to get a huge win, while the Rangers continue to falter a little bit over the past little while. Cairo had a hat trick, and Buchnevich, who had a goal and 2 assists, both had 3-point nights. And Thomas had 2 assists, and Saad also scored for the Blues in the win, while Trocheck and Fox were 2 goal scorers for the Rangers in the loss. So now, great game there from the Rangers. One they probably want to have back. This was an embarrassing game for them, and one where they really didn't come out overly well, but still, really good game there from the St. Louis Blues. Then we saw the Winnipeg Jets be able to extend their win streak and point streak, just like the Seattle Kraken. After being down 1-0, they would score 2 third-period goals, come back and beat the Chicago Blackhawks 2-1 to extend their win streak to a franchise record 8 straight wins, and their point streak to 14 in a row. So very good stuff there for the Winnipeg Jets, improved to 28-9-4, while they dropped the Chicago Blackhawks to 12-28-2. So not great stuff there for the Blackhawks. They continue to find ways to lose, but a really good win there for the Winnipeg Jets. For the Jets, Lowry had 2 assists, and Ehlers and Velarde were 2 goal scorers in the win, while Murphy was the lone goal scorer for the Blackhawks in the loss. So not great stuff there from the Chicago Blackhawks, and one they probably want to forget about, but still, really good win there for the Winnipeg Jets, to find ways to extend their winning streak, and they continue to get higher and higher in the standings. Then we saw the Calgary Flames come out and absolutely destroy the Arizona Coyotes 6-2 to finally get back above 500 at 19-18-5, dropping the Arizona Coyotes to 20-18-2. So Coyotes have lost now 4 or 5, so not great stuff there. Sharangovich had a hat trick, and Coleman had a goal and 2 assists, both had 3-point nights, and Huberdeau, Lindholm, and Uyghur all had 2 assists, while Anderson and Backlund both also scored for the Calgary Flames in the win, while for the Arizona Coyotes, Keller and Krause were 2 goal scorers in the loss. So not great stuff there from the Arizona Coyotes, one they probably want to have back. This was a really bad game, but the Flames were able to get a huge win there, keep pace for a wildcard spot, and they're able to close in on one. So really good stuff there for Calgary. Then we saw the Vegas Golden Knights and the Boston Bruins play a really close, tightly contested game. It was scoreless after 2. Both teams would score in the 3rd period, making it 1-1 going to overtime, where in overtime, thanks to this goal here from Alex Pietrangelo, the Vegas Golden Knights were able to win in overtime over the Boston Bruins 2-1. Huge win there. They've now won 2 of 3 to improve to 24-13-5, dropping the Bruins to, I think it's like their 3rd straight loss in overtime, to 24-8-9. So really bad stuff there for Boston, who can't find a way to win at this point in time, and it's allowed Florida to get back into the race for top spot in the Atlantic Division. For Vegas, Eichel had a goal and an assist, and Pietrangelo, who had the OT winner, also scored for Vegas in the win, while Grzelcyk was the lone goal scorer for the Bruins in the loss. So not a great game there from the Bruins, one they probably want to put in the review mirror. It was a really embarrassing game, and one they probably really want to have back, but still really good win there for the Golden Knights, to continue to find ways to get some more points. So those are the 13 games that happened on Thursday. Lots of interesting action from over there. Going over to 2 games that happened yesterday on Friday. First, the Nashville Predators were able to come out and double up the Dallas Stars 6-3. Huge win there for the Preds, to improve to 23-18-1, dropping the Stars at the halfway point to 24-12-5. So not great stuff there for Dallas. For Nashville, a goal and 2 assists for O'Reilly, and Yossi, who had 3 assists, both had 3-point nights. Forsberg had a goal and an assist, and Nyquist, Parsonen, Novak, and Lazon were the other goal scorers for the Predators in the win. Well, for the Dallas Stars, Duchesne had a goal and an assist, and Hakanpää and Johnston also scored for the Stars in the loss. So not a great game there from Dallas. They've lost to the Nashville twice over the past, I think, week and a half, and not doing overly well right now as the Predators are starting to creep up behind them. It's still a really good win there for Nashville, who keeps pace for top wildcard spots in the Western Conference. Really good stuff there. The final game that happened yesterday was the Minnesota Wild, who blew a 3-1 lead and once again lost, dropping to the Philadelphia Flyers 4-3 in overtime. Really bad loss there for the Wild, who dropped it to 17-19-5 at the halfway point, while Philadelphia is able to improve to 22-14-6. Really good win there for Philadelphia. Farabee scored twice, including the OT winner. Tippett had a goal and an assist. Konechny had 2 assists, and Forster also scored for the Flyers in the win, while Hartman had a goal and an assist, and Boldy and Johansson also scored for the Wild in the loss. So not great stuff there from the Wild, who continue to find ways to lose. I think they're on like a 3 or 4 game losing streak. They're not doing overly well right now, and they're 2 games below 500 still, while the Flyers are able to continue to find ways to win and are one of the top teams in the Metro Division. So really good stuff there for the Flyers. Now those are all the games that happened over the past couple of days. Those were 2 games that happened on Friday. Those were the 15 games that happened over the past couple of days. So really interesting stuff there. I'll next go over to a quick look at the 41 game review for some of these teams, as there's been a handful more of teams who have hit the 41 game mark. So it starts with the Seattle Kraken. At the 41 game mark, the Kraken are 18-14-9 for 45 points, 115 goals for, 118 goals against, a -3 rating. Players with 30 or more points at the halfway point. Vince Dunn, who has 8 goals, 26 assists, and 34 points. And Oliver Bjorkstrand, who has 11 goals, 20 assists, and 31 points. So those are players at at or above 30 points at the halfway point for Seattle. Going over to New York Islanders at the 41 game mark, they're 19, 12, and 10 for 48 points, 127 goals for, 138 goals against, minus 11 rating. Players with 30 or more points. You have Barzal, who has 12 goals, 33 assists, 45 points. Dawson, who has 6 goals, 36 assists, and 42 points. Horvat, who has 17 goals, 23 assists, and 40 points. And Nelson, who has 19 goals, 16 assists, and 35 points. And Barzal's on pace for 90 points, while Dawson's on pace for over 82 points as a defenseman. So that's really good stuff there for the Islanders. Then we saw the Detroit Red Wings at the 41 game mark beat 20, 16, and 5 for 45 points, 146 goals for, 139 goals against, a +7 rating. Players who have over 30 points at the halfway point: the Brinkett, who has 17 goals, 21 assists, and 38 points. Larkin, who has 14 goals, 20 assists, and 34 points. And Raymond, who has 11 goals, 22 assists, and 33 points. So really good stuff there. The Brinkett on pace to lead a team by the end of the season with 76 points. So that's really good stuff there for Detroit. Then we saw Carolina Hurricanes at the halfway point. They're 23, 13, and 5 for 51 points. They have 143 goals for, 125 goals against, a +18 rating. Players who have 30 or more points at the halfway point is Sebastian Aho, who has 15 goals, 32 assists, and 47 points, on pace for 94 points. And Seth Jarvis with 15 goals, 16 assists, and 31 points. So really good stuff there for the Carolina Hurricanes. At the 41 game mark, the Anaheim Ducks are 14, 26, and 1 for 29 points, 105 goals for, 139 goals against, a -34 rating. Players with 30 or more points at the 41 game mark is only Frank Vetrano, who has hit the 30 point mark, 20 goals, 10 assists, 30 points, on pace for around 40 goals and 60 points. So really good stuff there for the Ducks. Then for the Montreal Canadiens, they're 17, 18, and 6 at the halfway point for 40 points, 115 goals for, 143 goals against, -28 rating. The only player who's had over 30 points at the halfway point is Nick Suzuki, who has 12 goals, 22 assists, and 34 points. So really good stuff there for the Montreal Canadiens. Then for our Florida Panthers at the halfway point, they're 27, 12, and 2 for 56 points, 131 goals for, 102 goals against, a +29 rating. Really good stuff there for the Florida Panthers. Players who have hit 30 points or more at the halfway point: Reinhart has 30 goals, 23 assists, and 53 points. The dude's on pace for 60 goals and 106 points. Barkov has 11 goals, 34 assists, 45 points. He's also on pace for 90 points. Verhaeghe has 22 goals, 19 assists, 41 points. He's on pace for 40 goals. And Tkachuk has 12 goals, 20 assists, and 40 points. So really good stuff there for Florida, who have a lot of really of their high-end talent doing extremely well right now. Then for the Winnipeg Jets at the halfway point, they're 28, 9, and 4 for 60 points, 139 goals for, 95 goals against, a +44 rating. Players with 30 points or more at the halfway mark: Scheifele, who has 14 goals, 27 assists, 41 points. Ehlers, who has 15 goals, 18 assists, 33 points. And Morrissey, who has 7 goals, 25 assists, 32 points. So really good stuff there. I see some of the higher end players be really good for the Winnipeg Jets. Then for the Boston Bruins, they're 24, 8, and 9 for 57 points. They have 137 goals for, 111 goals against, a +26 rating. Players with 30 points or more at the halfway point is Pastrnak, who has 25 goals, 32 assists, 57 points. Is on pace for 50 goals and 114 points. Marchand, who has 17 goals, 20 assists, 37 points. And Coyle, who has 14 goals, 16 assists, and 30 points. So really good stuff there for the Boston Bruins. Then for the Minnesota Wild, at the 41 game mark, they're 17, 19, and 5 for 39 points. They have 121 goals for, 138 goals against, a -17 rating. Only 2 players have 30 or more points at the halfway point. That's Zuccarello, who has 6 goals, 24 assists, and 30 points, and Kirill Kaprizov, who has 13 goals, 21 assists, and 34 points. Kaprizov on pace to lead the team with 68 points. That's really interesting stuff there for the Minnesota Wild. And then if you look at the Dallas Stars, at the halfway point, they're 24, 12, and 5 for 53 points, 152 goals for, 128 goals against, a +24 rating. Players with 30 or more points at the halfway point is Mason Marchment, who has 32 points, Sagan, who has 33 points, Hintz, who has 36 points, Pavelski, who has 37 points, Duchesne, who has 38 points, and Robertson, who's on pace for 84 points with 15 goals, 27 assists, and 42 points. And those are teams currently who have hit the halfway point. So really good stuff there. We still have a couple of teams who have yet to hit the halfway point. I think there's a handful of Metro Division teams, and I think there's a couple of teams from the other 3 divisions. So we still have a little bit of time to wait before we can get all these teams at the 41 game mark. But we see that teams like Dallas is doing good. Minnesota doesn't look like they're doing overly well. Boston's doing good, Winnipeg's doing good, Florida's doing good. They're all top in their divisions. Seattle's wind up working their way, doing really good. Islanders and Red Wings are in pretty good positions right now. Carolina's in a fantastic position. Anaheim's not doing overly well, neither is Montreal. So we'll have to wait and see how this continues and see whether other teams fit in at the halfway point. But still, at this point in time, those are teams who have hit the halfway mark. Going over to a quick game preview here for the next couple of days. There are 16 games happening later today. An outstanding amount of games. Every single team plays later today. As the recording of this video, the New York Rangers are taking on the Washington Capitals. Rangers trying to shake off this poor streak from the past couple of games and get a win to extend their lead for the Metro. Capitals looking to get a huge win to try and improve in the Metro standings. At 1 p.m. Pacific time, the Canucks take on the Sabres and the Sharks take on the Senators. Senators looking to try and end this losing streak, taking on a Sharks team who just ended their losing streak. Sabres trying to get to within one game of 500, taking on the Canucks team is looking to win their 5th straight. Then at 3 p.m. Pacific time, Devils take on the Panthers. Devils are looking to get a huge win to improve in the Metro standings. Panthers are looking to get a win to, at least for the time being, leapfrog the Boston Bruins for top spot in the Atlantic Division. Then at 4 p.m. Pacific time, we have a handful of games, including the Pittsburgh Penguins taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. Penguins looking to try and increase in the Metro Division. Carolina Hurricanes looking to extend their lead for second in the Metro. The Seattle Kraken look to extend their winning streak and point streak, taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets team, who's looking to win their 14th of the season. The LA Kings look to try and end their 7-game losing streak, take on the Detroit Red Wings team, who's looking to keep pace for a playoff spot. The Edmonton Oilers look to extend their winning streak to 10 games, take on the Canadiens team, who's looking to get back up to 500. The Anaheim Ducks look to try and get back on the winning side of things, take on the Tampa Bay Lightning team, who's looking to win their 3rd straight. The Colorado Avalanche play the Toronto Maple Leafs. Avs looking to try and keep pace with the Jets for top spot in the Central Division. Leafs trying to keep pace with teams like the Panthers and the Bruins for top spot in the Atlantic Division. And then the Flyers take on the Jets. Jets looking to try and keep their winning streak and point streak alive, take on the Flyers team, who's looking to try and spoil that and win back-to-back games over the Wild and Jets. So those are going to be interesting games to happen at 4 o'clock. Then at 5 p.m. Pacific time, the Stars take on the Blackhawks. Stars looking to try and get a huge win to improve in the standings and keep pace with the Jets and the Avs. Hawks trying to get a huge win to keep pace with some of these other teams. Also at 5 p.m. Pacific time, Coyotes take on Wild. Coyotes looking to try and get back on the winning side of things. Wild looking to avoid going 3 games below 500. The Islanders look to try and hit their 20th win of the year, taking on the Predators. Teams looking to keep ahead of teams for the wildcard spot and win back-to-back games. The Boston Bruins look to try and end their sort of losing streak where they've lost, I think 3 games in overtime. Taking on a St. Louis Blues team is looking to get a huge win. And then the Calgary Flames end the night against Vegas Golden Knights at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Flames are going to try and get to 2 games above 500, take on the Knights team, who started to find their confidence as of late and look to win 3 of their last 4. So those will be some interesting games over the next few days. Then going over to games that happen tomorrow, there are only 2 games. 10 a.m. Pacific time, we have a rematch of the Caps and the Rangers. Once again, same sort of thing. Rangers trying to extend their winning streak in the Metro Division. Capitals are going to try and keep pace in the Metro Division. And at 4 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow, Red Wings take on Maple Leafs. Both teams looking to try and keep ahead of the other teams in the wildcard race. So that'll be an interesting game to see. And then on Monday, we have 10 games to happen. There are 4 games that happen at 10 a.m. Pacific time. The New Jersey Devils take on the Boston Bruins. Devils looking to try and keep pace in the Metro. Bruins trying to keep ahead of the teams in the Atlantic. Sharks take on the Sabres. Sharks trying to get a huge winning streak going for them, taking on a Sabres team who at this point in time could possibly be looking to get to back up to the 500 mark. The Canucks take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Canucks trying to get a huge win over the Columbus Blue Jackets to possibly extend their winning streak to 6. Jackets looking to try and avoid yet another losing streak. Ducks take on the Panthers. Ducks trying to get on the winning side of things, take on the Panthers team who could be looking for top spot in the Atlantic Division again. So it'll be interesting to see how those games go. The LA Kings take on the Carolina Hurricanes at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Kings looking to try and end their losing streak if they haven't already. Carolina Hurricanes looking to try and improve in the Metro Division. At 3 p.m. Pacific time, the Islanders take on the Wild. Islanders could be looking for their 21st win of the year, taking on a Wild team who could be looking to still end their skid right now. The Seattle Kraken take on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Kraken looking to extend their winning streak and point streak, take on a Pittsburgh Penguins team who needs a win to keep pace in the Metro. The Nashville Predators take on the Vegas Golden Knights. Preds looking to try and keep pace for wildcard spots, while the Vegas Golden Knights looking to try and keep pace for top spots in the Pacific Division. And then 4 p.m. Pacific time, the Canadiens take on the Avalanche. Avalanche looking to try and keep pace for the top spots with the Winnipeg Jets. Canadiens looking to try and get back above 500. And then at 5 p.m. Pacific time, the Flyers take on the Blues. Flyers looking to try and keep pace in the Metro Division. Blues trying to get a huge win to improve their stock in the Central Division. So it'll be interesting to see there. But those are the games that are happening over the next 3 days. So we have lots of game action over the next 3 days. And going over to a quick standings update as of January 13th, 2024. As of right now, the Boston Bruins lead the Atlantic with 57 points, followed by 56 point Florida and 50-point Toronto. 54-point New York Rangers lead the Metro, followed by 51-point Carolina and 50-point Philly. 48-point NYI and 47-point Tampa are the 2 wildcard teams, and they're followed by 45-point Jersey, Pittsburgh, and Detroit. 44-point Washington, 40-point Montreal, 40-point Buffalo, 35-point Columbus, and 28-point Ottawa. And those are teams out of a playoff spot looking in the Eastern Conference. In the Western Conference, Winnipeg leads it with 60 points, followed by 57-point Colorado and 53-point Dallas. 59-point Vancouver leads the Pacific, followed by 53-point Vegas and 48-point LA. Then 47-point Nashville is first wild card, and they're followed by 45-point Edmonton, who's second wild card. And those are followed by 45-point Seattle, 43-point St. Louis, 43-point Calgary, 42-point Arizona, 39-point Minnesota, 29-point Anaheim, 26-point Chicago, and 23-point San Jose. And those are the teams I will playoff spot looking in the Western Conference as of right now. And definitely lots of interesting stuff on the standings as of right now. So that's all I'm going to talk about for today. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of this down in the comment section below. Which games were you most excited about over the past couple of days? Which games are you most looking forward to over the next couple of days? Were there any surprises to you at the 41 game mark? Seattle, Anaheim, Carolina, Florida, Winnipeg, any surprises like that at the halfway point? And what do you think about the standings? Are you surprised that Edmonton and Seattle are tied for last playoff spot? Are you surprised that Nashville's closing in on Dallas? Are you surprised Edmonton and Seattle are closing in on LA? Are you surprised that the Golden Knights are still having a little bit of trouble recently? Are you surprised that the two Canadian teams lead the league at this point in time with the Canucks and the Jets? Are you surprised that the Panthers are closing in on Boston? Are you surprised that the Metro race is so close at this point in time? Definitely love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of those situations down in the comment section below. But that's all I'm going to talk about for today. Remember to like this video, and if you really like it, remember to subscribe down below. Thank you for your support. I've never been able to do it to all of you guys, so don't forget to subscribe so we can hit 250 subscribers. I also do a blog talking about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that, so definitely check that out. Leave a link to that in the description below, and I can't wait to see you guys all for next video. See you guys soon.